Alright, so just in case you didn't notice, the world's a little bit of a crazy place right now, and while I'm generally trying to avoid devoting too much energy towards it on this channel, it's kinda the elephant in the room at this point, because as I'm recording this, that dang PBR virus is running wild, and people are being forced into quarantine, which has a lot of negative aspects to it, sure, but if you're a hardcore gamer like me, then I'm sure having the excuse to just stay inside and play video games sounds pretty neat to some extent. However, with there being so many video games out there, I know it can be a little difficult to pick which ones to prioritize, so out of the kindness of my own ass, I thought I'd give y'all a helping hand and determine which 11 games would be the best during a quarantine. And to spice things up just a tad bit more, I thought I'd stick to modern games, and since I usually talk about the Switch more often than not, I've decided to turn the difficulty up an ass hair further and stick to the library of this one console, much to DJ's chagrin. So sit back in your Step Peppers YouTube viewing stool, wash your hands and then wash your hands, press the subscribe button if you haven't already, and allow me, the world's smelliest egg digger, Cameron all one word, to tell you the 11 best Nintendo Switch games to play during a quarantine. Before I begin though, I'm not going to be including compilations, and I'm not going to be necessarily picking the best games, but rather a middle ground between quality and what'd keep you busy the longest. So without further ado, number 11, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Much like the title suggests, this is a crossover between Mario and the Raving Rabbids series that literally nobody ever asked for, but somehow it actually ended up pretty good aside from this one little glitch in the victory theme for each battle that happens every single time and it drives me insane, goddammit. Other than that though, the game's pretty good. The gameplay's probably not for everybody, but if you're into these types of RPGs, then you'll be surprised to know that this is a lot more than just a mindless crossover. The story's a bit on the simplistic side, as with any Mario game, but it's always entertaining until the very end, and the battle system's a lot of fun, with some of the bonus fights in the post-game providing a decent bit of challenge. Plus, the music's an absolute home run, which isn't surprising, seeing as how it was composed by the same full-grown man who did the music for Banjo-Kazooie, Grant Kirkhope. It may be quite a bit of an oldie at this point, but there's still quite a bit of meat on the bones if you've never played it before that'll keep you busy for at least 30 to 40 hours. And on top of all that, it's even cheaper than a night with my promiscuous father these days, even with all the bonus content that I've actually never played. But, yeah, I'm sure that's probably pretty cool too. Number 10, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That's right, another crossover, but instead of Mario and Rabbids, it's Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem, which somehow makes more and less sense at the same time. The game's basically about a group of teenagers who want to be idols, actors, and things of that nature, all while trying to save the world from, like, bad guys and stuff. It plays a lot like Persona games in the sense that you use Fire Emblem characters as personas in battle that you can only summon in another realm, but all the socializing and time aspects are missing, which does make this inferior to Persona in my opinion, but everything else about this game's great, from the catchy music, entertaining and flamboyant characters, and most of all, the outstanding style and visuals. I really didn't want to include any Wii U ports on here, but since none of you bought this game in its heyday, nor did many more of you buy it in 2020, I'm putting it on here, damn it, because if nobody played it, then it's a new game to most people, and a great one at that. I mean, everyone's always asking for Persona games to come to the Switch, including yours truly, but while this doesn't hold a candle to that franchise, it's still a pretty solid effort, and to add a little bit more bang for your buck, the Switch version's like 2% better. And I'm not gonna turn my Wii U on just to check my playtime or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure this rambunctious adventure kept me busy for around 90 hours or so. So if you want to occupy your time with Persona games on the Switch until you can start going to some 41 concerts again, then this is probably as close as you're gonna get, but that's really not such a bad thing if I do say so myself. Number 9, Super Mario Odyssey. That's right, not everything in this video is gonna be a lengthy RPG that half of you probably won't even be interested in anyway, because I mean, we're gonna need a little bit of variety if we're gonna cleanse our asses out over this quarantine. Truth be told, Mario Odyssey is not my personal favorite 3D Mario game, but that's only because the standards for the series are so high. However, the key here is that 100%ing the game can be pretty goddamn time-consuming, and it's fun till the very end. I mean, sure, it might not be as time-consuming as some of the more beefy RPGs out there, and some of you are probably gonna try flexing in the comments about how you 100%ed it in like 10 hours or something, but for the average gamer who's just trying to have some fun and take their time, I'd guess you could probably be busy with this for a few dozen hours or so. And even if all you're trying to do is see the ending, there's still more than enough content in this game to justify putting it on the list. All I know is that I still haven't 100%ed this myself, so I'll certainly be dusting this off pretty soon and getting back to work. Number 8, Astral Chain. Even though just about everybody who's played this game loved it, I still think it's criminally underrated. Seeing as how the game takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, the story might feel a little bit weird if you're on a quarantine and can't wipe your ass, but if you can get past that, then you're in for a real treat here. The game has you control creatures from an alternate dimension called legions, and you make them do your bidding for you to fight other creatures off, with the ultimate goal being to save humanity. And the graphics prove that games can look incredible on the Switch if you don't use the limitations as an excuse to be lazy, and the music complements everything so well on top of that. Plus, the characters can be a lot of fun and the combat's incredible. So go on and play this game before it's like $800 once it's out of print and everyone realizes how great it truly is. Number 7, Pokemon Sword or Shield. Because I mean, you know, I can't technically put both games on here. Alright, I know this one's gonna be a little bit controversial. In fact, I'm actually among the rebellious few who refused to buy it out of protest. However, I didn't avoid buying this game because I thought it'd be bad, but rather because I thought it could have easily been way better. But you know what, if you're not petty like me and you're willing to overlook a few shortcomings, then I'm sure this is a great game to play on house arrest. I mean, the truth is, of all the Pokemon games I've ever played, they're all at worst pretty good, and most importantly, somewhat time-consuming. And I know that saying Sword and Shield are lengthy games is gonna be met with people in the comments section telling me about how the games are only 15 hours long, with each of the comments after that shaving another hour off until someone finally tells me they beat the game in 48 minutes. But, I mean, the average time for most people seems to be about 25 hours or so, which isn't too lengthy, I guess, but it's still long enough if you're on a lockdown. So if you're not on any kind of protest like my Hamburglar monkey ass, then Pokemon Adventures are a tried and true way to keep yourself occupied. Number 6, Super Mario Maker 2. What can I really say about this game that you don't already know from watching like 10 seconds of gameplay footage? It's a friggin' 2D Mario game with 100 preloaded levels that makes you make your own levels on top of that, and provided you have an internet connection, you can download the same amount of stages as there are breadsticks at Olive Garden.
Unlimited.
Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. You know, for someone who doesn't consider himself a competitive Smash player, I sure do talk about this game way too much on this channel, so I'll keep it brief here. By now, I'm pretty sure we all know the deal with why Smash is so popular, and assuming that Nintendo's online service doesn't dupe the bed, and this game can literally keep you busy for years, and with like 8,000 different characters to play as, you shouldn't get too bored either. But even if you live in some kind of Amish country like Krakosia or something, there's still enough content here to keep you busy with the heavily time-consuming World of Light mode that is honestly dragged out like hell, but it's still fun till the very end. And you know, if you live with people, you could always play local multiplayer, I guess. Number 4, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. To be honest, I completely forgot that I kinda just stopped playing this game once I was like 40 hours into it for some reason, but now that I'm reminded to it thanks to this video, I'm definitely gonna get cracking soon. The battle system can be pretty overwhelming if you're not used to these types of games, but if you pay attention, it's not only easy to understand, but it's also a heck of a mess of fun. While the English voice actors are pretty disappointing, the story's still neat, and there's assloads and assloads of side quests that'll keep you busy forever, not to mention the bonus game that came out a year later that I actually haven't played yet. Number 3, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I know like 1% of you are still mad over Byleth hogging a Smash DLC slot, but you're gonna have to get over it because Three Houses is absolutely fantastic, especially if you can't leave your house. Tactical RPGs might not be for everybody, but if you're not a Winky, then these games can get pretty intense despite being a little more slow-paced, especially if you have permanent death turned on, which is really how you're supposed to play. Rest in peace, Ferdinand von Aegir, we hardly knew ye. On top of great battles that'll really make you use your noodle and courting your favorite waifu that'll already keep you busy for 40 to 50 hours, the game has multiple endings that are drastically different from each other, which makes it very worth playing through the entire game again and again. Initially, I hadn't planned on playing through this game again since I have so many others I'm trying to get to, but if I'm gonna be locked in my dad's cellar anyway, then I might as well see the other endings through. Number 2, Breath of the Wild. I'm pretty sure anyone who's watching a video like this has probably already played the hell out of this game, but it's still sold less than half of the total number of Switches out there, so somebody's missing out, and if that's you, then quit being a dingus and pick it up already. It may not be endless like some of the games on this list. In fact, if you're only trying to finish the game to get the ending, then you could probably get the job done fairly quickly. But if you're not in any kind of rush, then there's plenty to do here that could easily keep you busy for 100 hours while you forage for goodies in the wild until you feel like you've hoarded enough to face Ganon. I know this is technically a Wii U port and shouldn't count, but frig it, most people consider it a Switch game at this point, so quit stalling, get your tushy out there, and buy or steal this game if you haven't already. Number 1, Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's right, the most obvious game in the world to put in this video, but what was I supposed to do, leave it off just to be edgy? Pfft, get a life, bozo. Truth be told, I've only actually played Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS for like an hour or so, and while I did think that was a lovely game while I played it, I kinda just felt like playing other stuff instead because there was no real goal. You just kinda live your life in a small town, but everything about it was charming and relaxing. But since I'm gonna get shot in the ass if I go outside, I might as well devote some hours of my life into this pleasant world now that I'll actually have friends who are getting it as well. But anyway, what Switch games do you think make for the best social isolation experiences? Was there anything important that I missed, or was I 100% accurate as always? Either way, vote for some honorable mentions in the poll, let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I'll try my goddamnedest to respond to everybody. Eventually, of course, just bear with me. But let me tell you, if there's two people who I'd love to hang out with at a safe distance, then it would definitely be today's patrons of the day, Gaz Owen and How You Durin', honey. If you want to be badasses like these two, then consider supporting FU Game Crew on Patreon for loot boxes and all kinds of wacky rewards in the mail. And if you want to make cameos, then send pictures or videos of you rocking any FU Game Crew merch doing whatever you want as long as YouTube allows it, like these badasses you see before you. And as always, like and share this video if you want to help this channel grow, and if you want to prove that you're not down with registered sex offenders, then go right ahead and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. My name's Cameron, all one word, and I'll be back with more videos soon.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.